Okay.
Live.
All right. So, hi everybody.
Hello.
This is Rita. I'm Rita, and this is Robbie.
Hi.
Some of you have seen us here every day for the last week and a half. We're doing our midday mind-body integration stuff. So usually we like to start with some water, getting a sip of water. And do you need some water?
I already drank.
Okay. All right. And we're going to start with brain gym. So brain gym is, the pace is a series of 4 exercises. One of them is water. So making sure you're hydrated. So we'll start with brain buttons. Okay. So brain buttons, taking your thumb and index finger and placing it in the hollow right below the collarbones, and then rubbing here, acupuncture points, and then the hand at the belly. Hand at the solar plexus, actually, just right below the chest plate under the breast. So above the belly button. Just rubbing here if you'd like. You can place the tongue on the roof of the mouth, right below or behind the teeth. And then switching hands. And this hand at the solar plexus is actually a very comforting thing. This is where we tend to hold grief and patterns of breathing that can restrict our ability to bring in oxygen. So just bringing awareness to the hands, rubbing these spots, and the hand resting over the solar plexus, and just offering yourself a little bit of kindness. Awesome. And then we'll go into cross crawl. So bringing the opposite hand to opposite knee. Oops. We do that. And anytime you feel like you want water, go ahead, take a drink of water. And then we'll go to the back. So opposite foot to opposite hand. Just doing that. And at any time you want to switch to the front, you can switch back and forth if you'd like. You can bring the elbow to the knee. And pausing from there. You're welcome to continue, or you can join us for the next and the last brain gym one, which is crossing one leg over the other. So you can do the right over the left or left over right. And then bringing your arms straight in front of you, palms facing. Cross one arm over the other, and then turn the palms to face each other. Link the hands, and then bring the hands to the chest, up, so that they're through. And then if you're feeling at any time ungrounded, you can place a thumb on the chin. You can have the eyes cast down about 10 feet in front of you on something that's not moving. You can place a tongue on the roof of the mouth. Just pausing. Helps in these practices to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. Then relaxing that, and we'll switch legs. You can switch arms if you'd like. Bringing the palms together, linking the hands, and turning the hands in and up. Again, you can have a thumb here at the chin. You can even turn the eyes left and right. It'll challenge your balance a little bit. And pause in the center. Sometimes I do this and I feel a type of clunk, like I'm landing in my body after a morning of learning and taking in information. This is really helpful to come back in and integrate what we've learned. And relaxing that. So we'll start with our mountain pose. You want to start with that?
Sure.
So we'll start first with just opening the chest. I'm going to stand a little bit behind you just so that people can see you better. Does that work for you? Okay. Just opening, and then generally open the chest, just inhaling and then exhaling. Just, the idea is being gentle. If there's at any point a movement that you feel like you are enjoying the experience, you're welcome to continue to do that. This is your practice. Okay, so we're going to start with the 6 movements of the spine. So bending the knees, placing the hands on the thighs, and we'll start by pressing the hands into the thighs, lifting up through the chest and inhaling, looking up with the eyes, and then exhaling, bringing the chin down to the chest, looking down to the floor, and rounding the back. So that's 1. Then we'll do 4 more. Inhaling, looking up, and then exhaling, chin to chest, rounding. 3 more. One more, is that it? 1 more. We'll do 1 more. And then bringing your head and your back into a more neutral position, we'll reach the arms out in front of us, reaching out with the hands, and then dropping the tailbone a little bit. And then inhale, straightening the knees and looking up and back, and then exhale, the arms and the knees bend. And we'll do that 4 more times. Exhale. And then letting the arms come all the way down and back. And we'll just reach the arms up and back. It's like being in hockey, isn't it? No? 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 Okay. 1 more. And then coming. Does that feel good? That's like hockey? Okay. All right, so now we're going to wave in the tree. So side bending, the 3rd and 4th movement of the spine. So going from side to side. Just letting your arms wave back and forth. Yesterday we were out walking in the woods and we paused and looked up at the sky and there was a slight wind going and the treetops were waving. Robbie called my attention to that. It was really beautiful, wasn't it? Yeah. And then pausing here in the center, we're going to side bend over to the left and reaching with that right hand. And pausing here. One more breath. And then inhaling, coming back to center. Does that hurt? You don't like that one? So oh, okay, bring the arms down. It doesn't feel good doing that movement. Do you want to go? Rest? Okay. Can you try doing, how about going to this side? Okay. So you can, if you'd like, to side bend over to the right, or if you'd like a little bit more, you can have both arms up. You don't have to do the arms if your belly is fine. And then breathing into that left side of the body. And then bringing the arms back to center. Okay. We're just going to inhale the shoulders up. We'll do this 5 times, but inhale them up. Squeeze, 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 and then exhale. Does that feel better? Okay, now let's turn from side to side. Just let me know if there's something that feels better or if you want me to help you with, okay? And this is the 5th and 6th movement of the sides, rotation from side to side. We can reach out with the hands, so as you turn, reaching out with that one arm, so as you turn to the left, reaching to the opposite arm, right, back and forth. Does that feel good? Okay, and then doing both arms, maybe going in a circle from side to side. And then switching, just shifting your weight back and forth as the arms go in circles in front. Awesome. And then pausing here. And just checking in with the body and just seeing what the body needs. You can place a hand gently at the chest and one at the solar plexus. Just seeing if you need to pause. Asking the heart how the heart is doing. Asking the belly. And we'll go into our usual tree and triangle. So we like to do the tree. We have a special affection for trees. Okay. So for tree pose, we'll just stand with our feet about hip width apart and then shifting the weight. I'm not mirroring today, so if it seems confusing, my apologies. Shift your weight over onto the left foot and contract that thigh muscle and squeeze the hips so that they stay centered. And if you'd like, you can have a hand on the wall or a chair. Turn the right foot out and then rest the heel on the ankle. You can just pause right there. You can slide the foot up to below the knee or even above the knee, but not at the knee. And then just keeping the presence there, your gaze in front of you. And if you'd like, you can bring the hands together. Just recognizing that in any weight-bearing single leg stance, that our balance changes from day to day. And then in a tree, we can sway like a tree. And inhaling the arms up. And then exhaling the arms out, wide and down, releasing the leg. Then we'll switch to the other side. Do you want to change? And then turning the left knee out and sliding it up or keeping it just resting on the calf or on the floor, or you can bring it up. I'm pausing here. Cool. inhaling the arms up. And then exhaling down. Okay. I'm going to go into the triangle. The triangle pose. We'll start with, I'm going to come in front. Do you want to do it? Or shall I stand in front? Okay. So, just so you all can see, stand with your feet apart. Okay. Turn your right foot out 90 degrees. And then you can turn your back foot out about 45 degrees. And then raising the arms up to shoulder height and keeping that right knee strong. And reach out with that right hand over the foot. And then coming down. And opening up the chest towards the sky, pressing down with that back leg equally. And then looking up towards your top hand. If you can, breathe into that side rib cage. Inhale, reach for that top hand. Exhale, hands, shoulders are equal. Turn your feet to face front. Left foot out this time. Then reach out with that left hand. Bring the left hand down. Right hand up. Lifting up through the chest and breathing into that side body on the right side. And reaching up with the right hand, coming back up, turning both feet to face front, and then step your feet together and pause. Do you like to do a sitting? Yeah. Okay. So we're going to do some sitting. Yeah. I don't know. Here, let's see. Sorry about that. Okay. So we're going to do a couple of sitting postures. So just for today, we're going to do a little bit of focus on breathing and sitting and sideline, just so that, and so for some of you who are not able to sit on the floor but are sitting in a chair, you can do this practice as well. So you can sit, your knees can be bent, that's fine, but sit with your hands on either side of you and lift up through the chest. And then inhale here, looking up, and then exhale, bringing the chin to the chest, but keep the chest lifted. So we're just going to lift the chin and then bring the chin back. Is that okay? And then pausing here, elongating through the neck. Bring the hands to the belly. And then we'll inhale here, extending out to the top of the head. And then exhale, reaching forward. Inhale, coming back up, and exhale forward. Does this hurt your belly? I think you probably ate before we were doing this. Is this okay? I'm tired. Oh, okay. So we're just going to do this 2 more times, inhaling and then exhaling over the belly. And as you do this, really concentrate on breathing into the back body. When we sit, we put all our attention in breathing in the front, and gravity pulls the fluids of our body down into the lower lungs, and it helps to have some type of awareness in the back body. Okay. And then pausing here. And then you can, if you'd like, cross one leg over the other. For those of you who can sit with your legs in front of you, bring the knee up. So bringing the right knee over the right foot over the left, and then turning towards the right. Placing the right hand behind your hip. And then seeing if you can keep both sit bones down, pressing into the mat. And then focus on breathing on the left side of the body here. And then turning to look over your left shoulder. And then facing forward, bringing both legs in front of you. And then bringing the left over the right. And then hugging that front knee if you'd like. There you go. And bringing that left hand behind your hip. Try to bring it a little bit closer to your hip. There you go. And then reach up through the chest just a little bit more. And then looking over that left shoulder, the left hand is behind the hip. And then bring your awareness to that right rib cage. So as you breathe in, you're expanding on the right back rib cage. For some of you, it might make you cough, which is good. And then keeping the position, turn your head to look over the right shoulder. And continue with that breath. And then facing forward. Now you can keep your legs in front of you or your feet on the floor, or you can cross the legs. For some of you who are on the mat, you can put your feet into Baddha Konasana, so your feet are together like this. For you, you can place your hands behind you like that. So if your back is starting to round, it helps if you have your hands behind you so that you can push up through your chest and prevent your back from rounding. That's awesome. Do you feel a stretch? Okay, and then doing 5 breaths here. And if you can, sitting forward and bringing the hands to the toes. That's great. And then we're going to, with this, hold the feet and inhale, lift up through the chest. And then exhale, rounding the back. We'll do that 4 more times. Inhaling, rocking the pelvis. And then exhale. Inhale. So you're rocking on the pelvis from the back of the sit bones to the front of the sit bones. You'll probably feel them if you're sitting on a harder surface. And one last time. Wonderful. You feel better now? So we're going to go and we'll go sit in our sitting posture for meditation. But before we do that, let's do one last pose where we're going to squeeze the buttocks and just do a slight inversion. And so it's called bridge. So lie on your back and place your feet as close to your buttocks as you can. And we'll start with inhaling but arching the back so that you feel the low back come away from the floor. And then as you exhale, press the low back into the floor and lift the buttocks off the floor, raising all the way up and taking 5 breaths at the top here. And then taking 5 breaths to come down. And while we're here, just pausing here, feeling the body against the surface. So if you're lying on the floor, feeling the body rest on the floor. If you're in a chair, let yourself just rest back, feeling the bones of the body being supported by whatever it is that you're resting against. And then if you're lying on your back, just turn your head left to right. If you're sitting, turning your head left to right. And letting your knees turn from left to right, the head going in the other direction. Bringing the knees up to the chest and just massaging the low back. If you're sitting, you can just if you can bring knees up, that's fine. If not, just do some circles on the sit bones. And then turning to your right side, bringing the knees up to the chest and placing the hand in front of you. We'll push ourselves up into sitting. And we'll find ourselves our seat for meditation practice. And Robbie's been good enough to give his watch. And he's going to time us for, okay. I'm going to sit in meditation. So finding your sitting position here with your feet flat on the floor. And so finding a position where you can be relaxed yet alert, your shoulders over the hips, letting the spine be aligned, stacked one on top of the other. Chin is slightly towards the chest, extending up through the top of the head and pressing down through the sit bones. So that gives you an idea of an alignment, but we don't want to be rigid. Just giving an idea of what straight looks like. Somewhere where there's the least amount of effort and yet you are awake and alert. Letting the shoulders fall from the ears. Letting the brow be soft. And gently, you can close the eyes or you can have the eyes cast down. We're going to go into a sitting practice. We like to, as we establish the sitting position, we like to check in with the body with a hand at the heart and a hand again at the solar plexus. Just always checking back in with the feeling sense of the body. No matter where our mind takes us, we always have the body to return home to. Our sensations guide us in the world. That's very real. So checking in with the hand at the chest and the hand at the belly. And bringing an element of kindness to the placement of the hand on the body. Checking in with the area around the heart, the hand at the heart. And checking in with the hand at the solar plexus, that space above the belly button, where the diaphragm, the breathing muscle, lives. And offering an element of kindness for how hard this muscle works. Whether we want it to or not, it's always working. Bringing in oxygen and contracting to eliminate what we no longer need. Bringing that element of kindness to the chest and the belly, allowing it to spread from the heart up to the head, and from the diaphragm down to the pelvis. So that the energy of our heart and our breath spreads throughout the body, through the top of the head, coming up and around us, and down through the pelvis to the feet, extending into the earth, and connecting us with the support of the ground and of the earth. And you can keep the hands where they are, or you can also let the hands be on the thighs. Whatever sustains a feeling of care and tenderness for you. I sometimes find offering the word thank you for my body that works even when there's pain or some type of dysfunction. Just saying thank you for all that's here in the body that works. That's keeping me whole. Allow yourself to rest in the presence of your body. The feet on the floor, the bones in the chair, the shoulders on top of the hips, the bones of the skull and the jaw. If you'd like, you can continue to stay in your meditation sitting practice. We're going to close our meditation and offer you letting the eyes come open and gently making our way back to the world, and offering all of you the wishes of loving kindness and good health. May you be well and happy. Namaste.
Namaste.
Would you close it for us?